Hello and welcome to another episode of Pedalling Past, and we're in the beautiful Dales village of Grinton at the Dales Bike Centre, an absolute mecca for all sorts of riders. It's home to the Hard Rock Enduro as well, but brilliant calf, bike parking, bike washing you can see, and accommodation as well, so everything you could need for a fantastic biking holiday up Swaledale in Yorkshire, which is where the Dales Bike Centre is. Now, to start off, this is only short. It's just over 30k, this route, but it has got a fair old climb. So Sarah's just been into the calf to get some of Brenda's fantastic homemade flapjack. I mean, the cakes here, they're next level, aren't they? I got my birthday cake from here one year, and it was amazing.
And a Dale speciality, coffee and walnut cake. As every Dale's granny made, you've got to try it.
Yeah, with Wensleydale. Cake and Wensleydale cheese. Well, you're not into that, are you? No, fruitcake and Wensleydale. Sarah's not into that. Anyway, we're heading up through Reeth, but like I say, it's only short, but it is quite a steep climb and quite a long climb that takes us out into the old lead mining areas, past some fantastic industrial archaeology, beautiful scenery up near Surrender Ground, and then down Gunnerside where there's more lead mining artifacts, but that will involve a short walk. How can you imagine? I mean, if you're handy on a mountain bike, you'll be fine on the single track, but otherwise it'll be a short walk just across the dam at the top and a little bit of single track. Then we've got a fantastic winding gravel trail all the way down into Gunnerside itself, where there's a nice little pub where we'll get some refreshments. And then, what we done then, Sarah? This is where the title of the route comes from.
Coffin trail.
Yeah, it's the old coffin route from down Swaledale, up from Keld, all the way down into Grinton Church, which was known as the Cathedral of Swaledale back in its day. Yes. So, again, more gravel than normal, and some of it a little bit technical, but a fantastic route, and I think well worth the investment of a little bit of time and effort with your legs at the start. Yeah.
Cracking. Let's get going.
Yeah. Absolutely. So, anyway, sorry, I'm Guy. That's Sarah. And time for some more Time Travel Gravel. Yeah. And if you are coming up to Dales Bike Centre, make sure, and if you want some other routes, or come on, get your...
Big jump as minging.
Make sure you check in with Stuey. I mean, because he can't help himself, give you as many recommendations as well. And also, you do hire bikes as well.
Yeah.
So even if people have got a gravel bike or a road bike or something, but they want to try this, then you can hire them an e-bike or a standard bike.
Yeah. So we've got normal, like a hardtail e-bike. We've got some swanky full suspension e-bikes. So we'll sort
So you can feed them. You can give them somewhere to stay, and you can give them a bike.
Yeah.
You should call it like the Dales Bike Centre or something like that.
I think that would be a really good idea. I think that's a great concept you've got there, Guy.
Exactly. Maybe something you and Brenda can work on. Cheers, Stewie. See you later for cake. So we're heading out. The bike centre now. Got a little bit, a relatively busy road. Well, as you can see, it's super busy on a Sunday morning at 11:10, but yeah. We're heading towards Reeth now. Got some beautiful architecture here, because there's the old bridge into Reeth, which is one of the reasons why Reeth is important, because it was one of the main places you could actually cross up the Dale north of Richmond. So I was thinking of putting the route in all the way from Richmond further to the east, but that would have made it longer, and also you can do it, but it's an out and back route on the same track really, on the north side of the valley. And here we are in Reeth. Beautiful village. I can't remember where I saw it. It's just been voted the hidden gem of the UK in the top 10. It's going to be full of loads of people from Sunday Times rocking up. But there's some pubs. There's a national park centre over there. Lovely village green. and definitely dates back from pre-Viking, but it's mentioned in the Doomsday Book. Cheers. And there's also a little craft area, which if we get time we'll visit on the way back, with all sorts of local crafts there. Got a little forge, they've got, what do they call it? Fabric crafts, I think, Sarah.
That one in that corner.
Yeah, knitting. Oh, is it? Right.
I've seen it.
Right, Sarah's on the ball. Typically. And you can buy sort of Dale specialities there. And then that is the road up to Town Hill. Highest pub in England. We're bearing round this way. Oh, there's the bakery. And another cafe. Guess you're already peckish after leaving Stuey and Brenda's.
Oh, it's open as well.
Yeah, open on Sunday, that is good.
Really good.
And there's
Also good. Some hotels and stuff look really nice too.
oh, they do.
Look really nice.
I've forgotten, I didn't read my notes properly before I set off.
Yeah, apparently.
I'll put all that in case in captions.
Yes. There's the art studio.
Oh, that's the art studio, yeah. And another bakery. Right, I have to stop talking and gear down at this point. It's quite a robust start.
So we're here in mid-August, and as you can see, the heather is now starting to appear on the moorland. So we've got this beautiful purple tinge, and as you can see down there, that's the River Swale, which we will be. Oh look, you can see the footbridge. Yeah. Amazing that. And we'll be coming back along the opposite side, and that one there, coming back to the Dales Bike Centre a bit later. It's a bit drizzly, but you've got to remember.
Oh, we'll get all the weather today.
Yeah, it's you're high up here. Don't forget, it's mizzling, as we call it in Yorkshire.
Pack a couple of extra layers. Now we're just coming through Helaw, first village on the route, and to be honest, there's not a lot of navigation, so we may as well talk you through it. But this is typical, beautiful Swaledale village here. That's our turn down there.
So we're just coming up the road section now. You can see it's not exactly the M1. It's very quiet, lined with lots of lovely ferns and views of sheep frolicking in the field. Hopefully you can see. Let me see if I can get that up there so you can see.
I think they're more grazing than frolicking
More,
today.
they were running when I started. Cheeky. So yeah, it's we're just going up, but it's not too bad.
Steady away.
Steady away.
And this is why we spend a lot of time on pedalling past, working out the best possible routes for each loop. You know, I've got a lot of experience of riding up here, and so I've made sure we're climbing on the road, so it's a little bit easier, and then we'll do the zoomies on the gravel coming back down, mostly. Nearly berry season, isn't it?
They're starting a bit
so
later up here.
You might even get some more snacks.
It does feel like you're going back in time coming up here on this.
What like you're pedalling back through history?
Pedaling back through history. Who'd have thought?
I forgot that at the intro. Cram it in somewhere.
It does feel like you can just imagine horses and carts coming up and down here.
Beautiful old longhouse. That'll be in there centuries. Family on one end, farm animals on the other to keep you warm. Help, hey help. Here's some local heavy traffic. Come on in, ladies.
I hope you can see this really well. If you look dead in the centre of where I'm pointing the camera, guys now pointing, you can see there's lots of lines of walls or edging boundaries of those fields. That is called the Barn Project, and those are fields that are basically ancient designs.
Prehistoric.
Prehistoric, actually, says Guy.
Yeah.
So
And
there's
there's a barn, as you can see. There's basically a barn in the corner of every field. You look over here as well. And that's where they keep the animals and gather the hay in summer. But they did a whole Swaledale barn project. We'll put the URL in a caption so you can go look. Because you've had some amazing stories, didn't you, Sarah?
Oh, it was just amazing. And I think there's something that we Yorkshire folk undersell ourselves a little bit on, and that's our voices and our dialect. And if you want to hear the most terrific examples of Yorkshire dialect and how Swaledale people speak, go and listen. It really does gladden your heart.
I mean, I know this is road, but oh heck, look at that. Now, as you can see, beyond, going up the moor, that's the gravel track we'll be taking. And there's one of the first big lead smelting mills. It's this area we're going into now. This was very, very industrial. Let's drop down over the bridge. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Here down, and here's where the gravel proper starts. Turning up onto the old mining road.
We're on the gravel route now, and as you can see, it's a good gravel route. Nice surface to be riding on. And you can see we're now actually riding through the heather, and we can smell it. I do wish we had smell-o-vision.
Yeah, scratch and sniff on you.
Yeah, just smells of honey. It's lovely. Gorgeous.
And these trails, because they're stone, run well all year round. But if you are coming up here in winter or spring or autumn or summer, to be honest, Swaledale has a bit of a reputation for bringing a lot of weather in quite quickly. So pack a coat and a base layer, even if the forecast looks good. You don't want you getting shivering out here. And it's not all uphill for the first stretch. Nice bit of downhill, dropping down to the beck again. You can start to see all the shale tips on the side here. But we'll stop at the old gang mill in a minute, but talk you through that. But as you're riding up here, keep an eye out for what they call pushes, like that, where they dammed a stream and then let the water through to rip all the stone out naturally. And also there's some shafts from the mining up here as well. And, must be in Yorkshire, he's a witness. All right, thanks very much. Yeah. Thank you.
If you listen, you can hear a little tinkly bell. And if you're wondering what that is, it's on our handlebars.
Oh yeah, it's the timber bell, it's called.
Yes. Because bikes can be very quiet, and especially when you're running by a river and there's other noises and people are just enjoying their walk, a little tinkly bell is a really nice way of just letting people know that you're coming up behind them. And if you just give a friendly hello as well,
Yeah.
then you don't make anybody jump.
Say hi. And now we're at the site of Old Gang Mill and New Mill. I'll put a link to there's a whole northern area mining history website that you can look into the details on here. But started, they reckon, in 1770 and then finally stopped smelting here in about 1880 when the lead ore was shipped down the Dale to other larger smelting places, but you can see as you're looking around, you've got old bases of the old machinery here. And I think through here, you've actually got one of the smelting furnaces there, and you can see right up on the top there, that's actually the top of a chimney that runs all the way back up the hill, so they could get a tremendous through draft to get maximum heat. And there's a lead mining border terrier up there as well. But you know, lead mining, very dangerous business. A lot of people, you know, the chaps they walked up here from Gunnerside and Keld and Hawes, all surrounding area. Quite a few of them didn't walk back, and you can see the smelting process is quite toxic, which is why it's quite a barren landscape now. And now there's see, the heather hasn't grown back here, it's just a bit of patchy grass, but fascinating spot. You know, in the middle of nowhere in the moors, you can see down the stream there, but you know, dramatic old mining landscape, you know, which is equally part of Britain's heritage. Yeah, old gang lead smelting mill, scheduled ancient monument. So don't clamber on the walls or cause damage, say the Yorkshire Dales National Park. And of course, you know, we'd say exactly the same. And as you're riding up, you got to look into all these old mine workings. You got more footings there, got a little bridge over to the far side. It's fascinating, and I know little office it looks like there.
Could be a...
And I know one of these shafts, although it goes all the way through the hill to Surrender Moor on the far side, where they took the ore for more processing. So rather than going up and round, they actually went straight through the moor, through all this rock. They were some tough old buggers. So think about that if you were going to complain about this slight little rise here. It's nought compared to what these folk were doing.
So after you come past the mill and you carry straight up the hill, then you can see the bridge in front of you. We're not going that way. Look for the sign that says Level House Bridge and carry straight on up the track that you can see is cresting the hill there.
Yeah, the right hand fork going slightly upwards. Oh, this is just sublime up here in Swaledale today. Beautiful. Old dry stone walls. Oh, and this is Level Bridge, I think, up here. Now, Stuey recommended we actually take a bit of a detour up to the right, off the official route. So they put in a new reconstructed mine entrance, so it's not far, so let's go and take a look at that. So here we are. It was worth that extra kilometre, because you can see here. Apparently Stuey says they've built the front up, tidied it up a bit, but that just goes down and down and down and down and down. Right down into the earth. Massive shaft down into the hill. And then there's another one with a gate on here, so, and a couple of helmets, and yeah, I'm gonna... Sarah's not even remotely interested in anything down there, are you?
No.
Interested in the history, not interested in becoming part of it.
No, don't like potholing, don't like the dark, don't like enclosed spaces. Not for me.
How about beautiful Heather Moorland, though?
Oh.
Right, so we're going to scuttle back down the hill now, and yeah, carry on the proper route. But yeah, well worth a detour, I reckon, says Stuey. And it crops up just as you're going. The sod, he lied to us. He sent us on a wild goose chase. You just top out and find it. So yeah, keep the faith with Uncle Stuey. Sorry, I shouldn't have done this. What mouthful of Brenda's flapjack. But yeah, we're down at the bridge now, so last bit of climbing up over the tops into Gunnerside.
Bring your own provisions. There's nought up here.
Oh yeah. Once you're out of Elo, Elo's got a telephone box with a carpet and a something else in there. I can't list it anyway, but yeah, once you're out of Reeth, until you're at Gunnerside, you're fending for yourself. But
Plenty of things in Reeth to get from.
and or you can just fill your pockets at the bike centre like we did, because Brenda's cakes and flapjack. Oh, sensational. And here we are, right on top of the moor. Amazing views. That's over Gunnerside, where we're heading, over to Keld and Muka, towards Cumbria. And that over there is Surrender Moor, which is nothing to do with the battle. Sur, or Suran, is the Old English and Norse for sour, bitter, horrible generally. So that's the sour and bitter moor, and on a horrible day I can vouch for that. And but we're dropping down now. We've done the climb, so we've crushed the stone on the tandem to come and see Mr. Thomas Foster's patent Kibbler Stonebreaker, made in Leeds, England. And I love the fact this is just still sat up here in the middle of nowhere. And obviously it's nicely colour coordinated to our tandem. Right, not long after the stone crusher, we come to that walking section we were telling you about. I mean, to be fair, if you're handy on a mountain bike and you've got a good full suspension well, any good mountain bike, you can have a go at going down here. It's an exciting bit of riding, but you're just looking for these little cairns here, leading off over the edge into Bunton Hush. If you go as far as that signpost for the footpath, you've gone too far. So turn left at the cairns for Bunton Hush. Gunnerside's gravity mountain biking treat, so we're probably going to be on foot from here. Yeah, definitely glad we walked this one, I reckon, on the gravel tandem, because I mean, it's a cracking route on a mountain bike. And remember, this is all scoured out by the water. They dam it at the top, and the water rushes through and breaks up all this rock, and they sift through it for the ore. It is an incredible bit of landscape, though, is this. You know, this brutal rockery on this side, and that stunning moor on the far side, which is where we're heading next. And if you're wondering if there's an easier option, we did actually look at a bridle path further up Gunnerside, but absolutely buried. It looks fine on the map, but absolutely buried under bracken, and a super steep drop into it, and just looked like a fight through undergrowth. And Stuey did look perplexed when I said I was thinking of looking at that one, but well, of course you can just get up to the stone grinder or as far up the gill as you want, and then just run back down the hill if you're not feeling like doing a bit of walking and technical. But and then you can loop back round to Gunnerside from there. But I promise, once you're down here, the rest of the ride's worth it. Right, so kind of making this up as we go along slightly at this point, but obviously we've come down from Surrender Bridge there, public bridleway, and you can go back down Gunnerside on that way, but it can be quite boggy in winter in the grassy bridleway there. So we're going to do a bit more of a push up, you can see, to Blakethwaite Dams, just up there. You can see where people are walking, and then we've got that long gravel incline that takes us all the way there, and that's such a good route. It is worth doing, I promise you. If you've borne with us this far, hang in there for a few more minutes and you'll have an amazing ride. Just been saying to Sarah, this is very much the old rough stuff ethos, the rough stuff fellowship, the original gravel riders of England, famous for going out and basically going for a walk with their bike. They used to go, you know, with the maddest of routes. You know, not just in England, but all over the Alps, and, you know, pulling bikes apart so they could get them up and down Via Ferrata, normally fueled by pints of real ale and pies. So, and someone's gone through all the Rough Stuff Journal archives, and just these fantastic pictures of folks in +4s and tweeds and pipes and saddlebags, and proper golden age of exploring biking, you know, on old 3-speeds, and, you know, well, you know, decades before mountain biking or any of that nonsense. And yeah, I think they'd approve of this kind of silliness. And to be fair, this would be absolutely fine on a mountain bike. if you've got any skills about you. Nice bit of single track down to the stream here. It's just a bit much on a gravel tandem. Yes, I think we may have hit a new adventure high at this point. Doing a bit of fording on this one. Right, let me hold the tandem properly for Sarah. I've come across the stream here from the bridle path and you can just see Priscilla level. Old mine workings here. Oh, I wonder how far that goes. And you still see the railway lines. You've still got this old wagon sat here, ready to head up. Well, it would be if it had wheels on. But I can't believe the lines are even still there. Amazing. It's been fascinating. A bit more of an adventure than we thought, but fascinating. Hindsight is a fabulous thing. I think we should definitely have stayed on that side of the river. Just pushed along to the mines there, all ridden on a mountain bike. And then you come up this grade here, but we're back on track now. Anyway, that's the good news. I'm looking across the valley there. You can see Bunton Hush, that's what we came down. And that's the track leading out on that side, which probably the more pastoral option. But also, just by here, isn't this is Swinner's Gill? Did you say?
Oh,
yeah.
I didn't realise.
If you go up over the moor that way towards Muker and Keld, that's where the Catholic community.
Yes, they used to, all the sort of disused, fell over then, disused caves and everything. They used to hold their services in there because they were being persecuted.
So again, bit more history. Right, we've got a pub to get to. I think we've earned a shandy, I reckon.
I'm so ready.
Right, walk on. So a little bit of technical sheep track. And this is Bridleway, you wouldn't necessarily know it. I guess they have sure-footed horses up here, as well as sure-footed sheep, but just about to join onto the main track. Down into Gunnerside village now, a bit blocky. I'm just filming this so you get an idea what we're riding on. But yeah, I mean, this is fine on a gravel bike. Here we go. Here we go. Boom. That's a bit better. Slightly regret it. I left the mudguard for me in the back of the van, but
I love it.
you got yours. You got your new crud fender on.
I have. Thank
and
you.
Dry draws. Thanks to Mr. Tompkins.
Thank you, Mr. Tompkins. So at the start of the ride, I showed you where the barn project was and
Where the field barns were.
the field barn. So at the start of the ride, I showed you where the field barns were and all these wonderful higgledy-piggledy fields. And now that we're on the other side, you can really see.
Yeah,
These are amazing.
And this is common all over the Dales, but Swaledale has some of the most fantastic examples of it. With your little farmhouses and your little pens further up. Because, I mean, lead mining was a big deal here for around a century, but this is what Swaledale's always been about, the farming.
And these disused barns must be so important for wildlife and things like barn owls and swifts and just so much ecological stuff within this little valley.
There's beautiful pockets like this. Yeah. So
Amazing.
don't just concentrate on the descent. And that's Gunnerside where we crossed.
There we are.
Right, Pubwoods. And this is the reward for a bit of stream crossing adventuring. This beautiful double track descent all the way into Gunnerside. Thank you very much. Cheers. Oh, that descent was amazing. Unfortunately, we were heading into the wind, into the wet and the wind, so you wouldn't have been able to hear anything. You wouldn't have been able to see much either. But take our word for it, that was a stunning piece of gravel descent. Just be careful with the water bars and such. Right, and there's a couple of cars coming up, so we'll just pull over here. The King's Head. That is a welcome sight.
So, we've just had a very lovely lunch at the King's Head, which was terrific. And this is, I'll just show you, the village of Gunnerside. But actually, back in the day, that's Gunnerside, and this is Lodge Green. And if you're wondering where the name of Gunnerside comes from, it's a Viking name, and this was the Viking leader. And up there, and all around here, were the summer pastures for the Viking horses, and that's where the name comes from.
A lot of Norse names up around here. Yeah. But it's really nice. I mean, not only has it got a really nice pub, but it's got a really thriving local community. So there's a couple of tea rooms, there's a forge and a forge museum, isn't there? Unfortunately, we're a bit short on time, but
that's there.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I've just seen here they do wine parties too with a brass band. What more do you need? Right, onward.
So now we're just going to head down across the River Swale. And you can go, I mean, there's a beautiful bridge. If you go a bit further up the dale towards Keld. Oh, actually, no, hang on. No, I think we might be getting the bridge. I've just seen it over the wall. I think that might be the bridge we're looking for. But yeah, apparently haunted by a headless dog, is it, Sarah? A black headless dog, which unsurprisingly, if you see it, is quite bad luck.
Well, it's really bad luck. It's an omen of death.
Oh, I know, yeah, that is very bad luck, isn't it? An omen of death. But what a beautiful sight that is. Okay. Beautiful views up and down the river. Oh, you can tell the...
I can tell I've had a sausage sandwich.
I can tell the oil's washed off the chain. That's got a lot of grit in it. Hang on, let me get down. Ease off.
Please.
We're literally turning around at the top of here. And now we're onto the Swale Trail. It's marked with blue signs. We're down through this gate and it's pretty much off-road all the way back to Grinton, where we started.
So here we are, riding along the Swale Trail. Now, we know this as the Swale Trail, but that's a new name for what was called the Coffin Trail. And it was called that because if you were a commoner and you needed to bury somebody, you had to get the coffin from your house to Grinton. Is it the church at Grinton?
Yeah, St Andrews at Grinton.
That's right.
The sort of furthest graveyard of Swaledale.
That's it.
We've got a lot of settlements up here.
So this is, you would have to carry the coffin. No easy feat. So it's about 16 miles long.
That's in Keld, doesn't it?
That's right, from Keld to Grinton. And they didn't use normal coffins, they used wicker coffins to make them lighter so they could carry them. And all along the trail, there are wide flat stones which were resting points so that they could obviously lay it down and have a breather. But also at those points, they also did some rituals and some ceremonies to stop the spirit coming back along the road afterwards, so it would settle within the graveyard.
That's it. It's basically traffic free. It serves a few farms, but there's some more field barns again there.
Look at that.
Well, it's a
What a
lovely way to come
beauty.
back down Swaledale.
What a beauty. Gosh.
Oh, it's some beautiful old houses and farms as they're coming along here. This is a glorious little spot. I think we're back down here. Yeah. There we go. Little wobbly navigation there. Managed to not to die on the Coffin Road, that's all good. There are a few rocky sections on it, and a few water bars as well, so don't relax completely on here, but it is a beautiful roll along. Gravel heaven, this!
Isn't it? Perfect.
I thought it might feel spooky along here, to be honest, given its history. You know, hundreds of years of people carrying their dearly departed along here, but it's such a beautiful track. These ancient higgledy-piggledy dry stone walls with the moss on them, trees leaning in. Yeah, field barns up there, and yes, ancient dry stone walls and the swale down there. That's just beautiful.
So can you see here, that stone? That's one of the coffin resting stones. The coffin resting stones.
And if you look over the wall here, you see that mound there with the ditches and ramparts on. You see it, Sarah?
Is that the one that's got a slightly yellow tinge to it?
No, on this side. On this side, here, right in front of us.
Oh gosh, yes!
Yeah.
Yes!
That's Howe Hill. That's an Iron Age hill fort. And there's another hill fort just above us. Called Maiden Castle.
Oh, fucking hell!
There's two Iron Age hill forts. And there's actually two big prehistoric earthworks right across Swaledale as well. Near Reeth and then again at Grinton. Kids having fun up there.
Yeah.
Keep straight on here. A beautiful bridge over on the left there, but just follow the blue signs for the Swale Trail and stay on this side of the river. A lovely roller coaster road section this. And the whole thing's just a really nice set of gradients. It's certainly front loaded in terms of your climbing is this route. And you shouldn't have opened my trap. As soon as I said there was no climbing on the way back. A couple of little leg burners. Swaledale just reminding us that is properly rugged part of the world. And I think we're turning down here on the Bridleway again. Yep, that's the way. Swale Trail. There we go.
Maybe might put the jacket away.
This section's a bit more grassy, but beautiful views of the Swale down there. And over to Helaw, where we went through at the start of the ride.
So this is us riding now alongside the Swale. Unbelievably picturesque. The Swale's really fast moving, as you can tell, and
I think it's the fastest running river in Yorkshire, I think. One thing I will say about the Swale Trail, it does have a lot of gates in, so it's very handy having Sarah on the back to act as my glamorous assistant at every gate. Cheers, Debbie McGee. Right, so that's the last gate on the Swale Trail done. It's the final furlong on this little back road into Grinton for our last bit of history. Although, if you look in the fields carefully, I've not spotted it. I mean, concentrating on gates. There's a big earthwork across the whole of the valley. One just the far side of Reeth, and one near here, near Grinton, which is late Bronze Age, early Iron Age, so proper big demarcation bank and ditch. That's beautiful for earthworks. Nobody really knows what they're for, but certainly a big old show of strength. Digging out a massive bank and ditch with your off shoulder blades and your antler picks. Oh, and the bells are ringing at St Andrews to welcome us home. They must know we're bringing in the dead. And this is a beautiful little hamlet, village of Grinton itself. And there's St Andrews, the Cathedral of the Dales. I mean, you can see it's a fairly substantial, it's not that tall, but it's a very broad church. And there's still some bits of Norman in it, but mostly 15th century. And that hall there, Blackburn Hall, that dates back to 15th, 16th, 17th century. And then you've got the bridge in there, which has a folk night on a Thursdays and does cracking food. I know a lot of the people who come to Ardrock stay there or go there for pub meals. And of course, this is the next fording point upriver from Richmond. So, tiny little place, but very important. And if you're a cyclist, you've been following the Tour de France and the Tour de Yorkshire, this is where this road here goes up towards Grinton Lodge Youth Hostel, the Côte de Grinton, as it was called, where Jens Voigt had his hero moment in the Tour de France in 2014, and they brought the world champs up, the world champs road race up here in 2019 as well. So, all sorts going on. But hopefully, we'll be back in time for the Dales Bike Centre to be open.
Cup of tea.
Tin cake.
Tin cake.
Tin cake. Fingers crossed. Well, one bit of history I forgot on the way out is that Fremington actually had a Roman hoard, parts of which are in the Yorkshire Museum and part of which are in the British Museum. Nearly all horse brasses from the Roman invasion period. So when the Roman cavalry coming north to subdue the Celtic tribes, someone obviously lost a lot of horse brass here. Oh, that's a good sign, Stewie. It's still open.
I've not actually moved.
You were right about that bit up at the top of Gunnerside. We had a bit of adventure.
Yes.
Yeah, we've had an adventure.
Suggesting don't let them lead you astray.
Well, it was fun actually.
It was fun once we dried out in the King's Head.
Yeah.
All right,
okay, cool.
Sausage sandwich in the King's Head.
Oh,
did the
mint.
trick, because
Yeah.
I got really quite wet and cold, but all good. All good.
There's some really heavy showers have come through today,
Yeah,
right?
it hit us. It hit us.
Yeah, we're right up on the, you know, your ankle.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Ankle
Did you
Road.
go along that?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're gravel riding.
Yeah, well, we came down Bunton Hush, but we pushed that.
We walked.
Well, we tried to get the bridle path at the top, and it was just completely buried.
We just couldn't find. We could see
It's
the bloody line of it.
Yeah.
We just
So
couldn't
we
find
pushed down to, oh, what's it called? What's that little... Something... Penelope or something.
Priscilla.
Priscilla, that's it.
Minor.
All right.
Yeah, and then pushed up from there onto the gravel road from there.
Couldn't find how to get from. So we went to this like little house that's got two really nice stone seats.
Yeah, we carried on past Bunton Hush and just carried on the fire road. But we just couldn't see. We could see it, I mean...
All right, so that's, we call that Lady Mary Lunch Hut. And you head towards Blakefin Dam there, or what was it?
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
But that's really hard to get across, and it's just, the single track, but buried.
We just couldn't find how to get across onto the other.
There isn't a way.
Ah, right.
So what you've got to do is, maybe it's about 200 metres before Lady Mary Lunch Hut,
Yeah.
there's a chute down.
Yeah,
to
we
the
saw that. We looked at that, we were like,
eyed
nah.
We eyed it.
We just thought we may as well go back up. We'll go back up and we'll walk down Bunton Hush.
So you drop down there and it sort of does a little bit of an S-bend and it drops you next to the beck, and then you've got the single track down the side of the beck on this side of the beck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is...
But that looked really overgrown. It didn't look
It's
gravel
really-
anyway.
We weren't that
It's not.
far off what we
No,
did,
no,
to be
no.
fair.
It's definitely
Just
not
a bit
gravel.
pushy.
Right, he's still serving.
Yeah, 5 o'clock.
Right, we best get in there.
Yeah. What time's it now?
10 past 4.
Oh, yeah, now
I've
you're
got-
all right.
Grand.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll be back in time.
Yeah, be fine. Yeah. Cheers anyway for your advice, love.
Did
I'll try and
you go
follow it
up
next
and have a
time.
look at that?
Yes, we did. That was
Really
cracking.
good. Yeah, they've done a good
That
job
was,
of
yeah, really good.
Stated that to to have a look at it, but I've never been down, right? But
Yeah, no.
No.
Good,
It's a
nothing
fair way.
on this earth.
Your roof's looking lovely, Stu.
the roofers, look, we get it gets serviced twice a year,
Right.
and so they came and serviced it, and basically they just pull out weeds and have a good look at it.
Yeah.
And they said that we've got 100% cover of wildflowers,
Oh.
and there's a lot of clover. It's funny because different times of year we get different flowers coming through. So at the minute there's loads of clover and loads of that white stuff. I can't remember what it's called. Too long a name for me to remember.
White stuff's fine.
So white stuff. So then there'll be some purpley stuff will come through next.
Yes.
And then
Oh, sorry.
in about September, rattle it about a bit, get the seeds moving around.
Yeah.
And then ready.
I might try planting some of that on top of my head.
So yeah,
Might get a bit of growth there.
I could do a bit because I'm kind of like, but no, I am well chuffed with it actually.
Yeah.
The guys who came said it was really, really good. It was in really good condition.
Excellent.
So yeah.
Right. Tea and cake.
You can just tell though that people are just letting things wild a bit more because there's just so many more insects.
Yeah.
When you're riding, you're just bumping into a lot more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
Eating more protein.
Yeah. But no, it is. It's good. It's good. Thermal values are good for the building as well.
Are they?
Yeah, it's a warm building in winter, is that?
Yeah. Well, it's the old. I mean, again, it's it's historic, is that?
Yeah.
Bit of turf roof.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Turf roof's a big deal. So Sarah and Stuey are still in there chatting. So I'm going to do the sign off myself. And not going to lie, middle of that ride, I was like, oh no, this is going to be a mess. I don't even know if I'm going to post this, but you know, if you've watched this, you know what you're getting yourself into. A bit of an adventure. And there's various ways of doing it. You can just turn around when you get to the Stone Crusher. You don't even have to go all the way to the Stone Crusher. Or you can go on past that reclaimed bit of mine. I mean, to be honest, you could just go up and down the Swale trail. I mean, that was a lovely route, and it still gets you Gunnerside and then go up to Keldon Muka. So, all sorts of options. I might yet come back and film something a little more palatable for more people, but we've had an absolute hoot. And I have to say, once we were coming down the Swaledale, suddenly the whole route made a lot more sense. So here you go. Make of it what you will. We're either idiots or we've inspired you to do something a little bit beyond your normal reckoning. Or, well within your normal reckoning. I don't know who I'm chatting to. And I'm just chatting on too much cake. And God, the mint hot chocolate that Brenda serves here is amazing. But anyway, massive thanks to Stuey and Brenda at the Bike Centre, for setting up this absolutely fabulous mountain bike, this fabulous biking mecca in this corner of Swaledale. As you've heard from Stuey, fully eco considered as well, with your grass roofs and your groundwater heating. And just come and visit it. Come and have a cake wherever you ride. Absolutely fantastic place. But for now, I hope you've enjoyed. Even if you're not going to ride it, I hope you've enjoyed us having a silly adventure. And I hope you're considering looking at more pedaling past routes, because a lot of them are a lot easier than this and a lot more mellow. This is definitely right out on a limb, this one. But for now, I've been Guy Kestevan. Well, that's Sarah Kestevan in there, still chatting on. And we really hope you've enjoyed coming along for some time travel gravel with us as we pedal back through the past on pedalingpast.com.